Welcome to What the Adults. I'm Audrey Ensor.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Brett.
And today is Brett's last episode with us because he's leaving Medfield TV.
Peace out, everybody. It's been crazy. It's been really cool. Being able to go out and like just talk to people, people definitely say the nicest things to you as you're on the way out. I'm like, this would have been great a year ago. Everyone's been very thankful for it, and then everyone's really excited for me, which is cool.
So do you want to share what you're going to be doing?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
I was like, oh, you're a private person now?
Yes. Now you don't want to talk about anything? No, I'm going to be going to a health, wellness, and beauty salon. It's called Pure Glow. So which every time I say that to people, they're like, really? Like access station to women's health and fitness? Yes. So basically what they're doing is they're spray tan for now, but they're moving into different line of their own products, and then they also have a lot of wellness stuff, so they have an infrared sauna. So my job is going to be operations manager of the storefront properties. So I'll be overseeing the staff, I'll be working and implementing in the small communities. They were really excited about my ability to work with small communities, so that was like a big part of it. So thanks, Medfield. And from there, I'll be trying to franchise the organization. It's called Pure Glow. I don't know if I mentioned that, but Pure Glow, we're going to try to franchise it across the country. So I'm going to be one of the top 3 people in an organization on the ground floor. So it's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about it.
Sounds like a perfect fit for your experience and what you've done here, taking it somewhere new on a bigger level.
Yeah, what was interesting was one of the things that she talked about, Lauren is the founder, so I'm going to say she or whatever. But so Lauren was talking about like the misconceptions of spray tanning, and she was like, one of the biggest things that we have to fight all the time is that people always expect when you say spray tan, you think of like Donald Trump's orange skin. And she's like, that's literally like, the problem is that he could afford any spray tan ever, and that's what he looks like. So people assume that's the best spray tan you can get, and it's like, no, that's just not the case. He has a horrible spray tan because that's what he's known for having, so he does it on purpose. But it's like, so I kind of talked to her about like, well, Medfield TV fights the misconceptions of what an access station is all the time. Like a lot of people think about, some random show they saw one time of a guy hitting a bongo in the middle of a studio by himself. And it's like, yeah, that's the misconception that we fought. And I think for 4.5 years, I worked on in Medfield TV, recreating what access means in this town. And I think that we have a completely different view in Medfield of what access stations are based on the work that we've done. So it's pretty exciting to be able to continue that type of process. Yeah.
You left a pretty big legacy here, and it'll be difficult to fill, but I'm excited to like continue on what you've built here and continue your vision.
It's the thing that people always hear is like, I don't know, people have this idea that like I created a vision or whatever, but we've talked about this a couple times. It's like when you take over for people, it's really hard because people want to continue and just see it like naturally progress to the next year, or like just that, oh yeah, it's just gonna be all up from here. But it's a different direction. And when I came here, they had just moved into this location, and Aditi was one. I owe Aditi Thate so much because she's obviously the one that put me in this position, and that was an amazing chance that she took, and I don't know why she saw potential in me, but she did. And so I was forever grateful for that. But like, she built this place. I got to work off of her foundation, and I got to work off the things that she created and she did. And I heard a lot of the messages that whoever steps or sits in my chair, right? I don't want to say fill my shoes, because you don't. You never fill someone's shoes. Everyone has different shoe sizes. Everyone has different styles of shoes. You have to accept that. And I hate when people say that to you, like, how are we going to fill your shoes? You're not going to fill my shoes. I'm taking my shoes with me. Someone else is going to come here and do their own thing. And you have to let them do that. You have to let them grow the way that they want to grow. But I've given them a foundation that they can work off of. And that makes it a little bit easier for them because they don't have to do the work that I've done, but now they can take it in their own direction. And Medfield TV will be better for it when they let someone just do that without the idea that they have to continue what I did, because they're just not going to.
Very nicely put.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there any skills that you know that you're going to implement in your new position that you have from Medfield TV?
It's weird. I think the biggest thing for me walking from Medfield TV to any other position didn't matter. What gave me the confidence of being able to walk into anything is that when I came to Medfield TV, I can admit this now, I had no idea what I was doing, right? And like, I think when you sit in the chair for the first day, it's like you talk yourself up into getting a position, and when you sit in the chair, you're just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Like, I did it. I tricked them. But you know, once you get the confidence that like, hey, you can make mistakes, you can come back from them, you can fix the things that you do, and you have that confidence in yourself, and you want to work hard, and you want to do the right things, that naturally just happens. And so I just felt the confidence that I could do anything from here, because I know that the skills that I learned here at Medfield TV were totally different from anything that I had already known. So, I mean, we did the winter lights thing. Like, I'm not an electrician, but I figured it out. And it was because Medfield allowed me to. I mean, literally the town of Medfield was like, sure, Brett, why don't you do that? And I was like, well, all right. So, you know, 5 generators later and a bunch of extension cords, and we had a Christmas lights display. It was crazy. So I just think I have the confidence to do anything, whatever the job has, I'm ready for it. So I'm excited about that.
I'm always impressed with all the skills that you pick up, like in stuff that you will create just to do certain projects. Because not everyone's willing to like figure out how to do something new to make something different. So it's always like, I'm like, oh, you know how to like starter gun or whatever for like Halloween and winter lights. Like, you know, that, like you just buy all this stuff and you learn how to do it, and I think it's impressive.
Thank you. I will tell you that my ability to do that has less to do with any characteristic I have other than just the confidence to go forward. Yeah. And like YouTube videos, like don't be afraid to understand that the biggest mistake people make is that they think they know everything. You don't. You don't know anything at all. And the biggest problem is you don't know what you don't know, right? And going into things, I always sit there and like, I listen to other people, I search on YouTube, I do a lot of research, there's a ton of prep. Like when I come to the Halloween meeting, I'm like, hey, here's what we're gonna do. I did so much prep just to talk to you before I walked into that meeting. So it's a lot of prep and just confidence, but yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing usually. I just have the confidence to try. But you guys do it all the time too. Like when you go to learn a new illustrating technique or anything like that, like you're just more hyper focused. I'm just trying to enable you guys to do what you want to do, right? Like when you're, you know, my job was just to set the place up so that anyone who walked in here could do what they wanted to accomplish. And I just needed to know the skills to get that done. I didn't have to, like the Doodle Club, I don't have to know how to doodle. I don't have to learn what he does. I need to learn how to get his vision onto our screen, and that's it. That's what I needed to know. And even sometimes with that, like I didn't have to know that either. I knew that Audrey knew that, you know. So know your strengths and weaknesses, you know. So that's always that. It's just confidence.
Are there any like things we started during your time here that you definitely want to see us continue doing?
I think for me the biggest thing, there's no one thing that I did that I felt like that's the thing I'm most proud of. I'm proud of the system that I built, and I think I'm proud of the atmosphere that is in here. I think if a manager can take credit for anything, it's for creating an environment that allows their employees to do what they're supposed to be doing. And so I just hope that that environment continues. Like, I hope that the front door stays unlocked and lets people come in and accomplish the things they want to accomplish. There's no show that I created that I feel like that's the one that has to continue. Like if Medfield TV doesn't have that, I'd be so disappointed. I want to see more people's faces on Medfield TV. I'm going to stay subscribed, so you know, I will definitely keep watching. Those are the things that I want to see. I want to see the Medfield TV, the vision of what an access station can do to actually continue that, and just continue doing awesome work. Like that's what I want to see. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I always appreciate like how you give everyone here like a freedom to do something. There's not a restrictive like idea that you have, and you're like confined us to like a box, and you're like, well, you have to do this, that, and that, and it has to look exactly like how I'm picturing it. You let us try things, and you let like new people come in to produce new shows, and I really appreciate having an environment like that, especially in a creative field, because it's so easy to dwindle like someone's like creativity if that's the type of leadership like you want to run. Like it's like my vision, like this is what
my
I'm
way or
doing.
the highway.
Yeah, so
exactly.
I really appreciate like having that opportunity to like expand upon ideas on my own without feeling like I had to get contained into a box.
Well, what's interesting about that is I can't do that if I don't have the right employees. Like if you weren't driven and you didn't want to learn and progress and do that, I can't let you have an open field, and I can't let you do those things, because I need to trust that you're going to be a self-starter, that, you know, when I hand you the Kurt Jackson story, you're not just going to hand me back some gobbledygook thing that I don't want to put on TV, right? Like when you showed me what let me tell you, the Kurt Jackson thing is the biggest, that's the biggest disappointment, that like I won't be here when that gets finished, but I'll definitely be watching it, is the work that you showed me with that is like proof positive that like not everyone can do that. And that's, as a manager, like my biggest accomplishment with like you guys doing something great is that I hired you, I found you, right? Like I was the manager that hired the two of you, and I was lucky enough to be able to make that decision. And so moving forward, like I just let you go, and I just enabled you to do the things that you were gonna do. But being able to create and do, like that's you two. That's the two of you do that. I have no say in what you're able to create and do. That I think is just the benefit of being able to watch the two of you create is awesome. So that wasn't necessarily me. That's the two of you being awesome employees and being creative geniuses that you are. So just keep that up.
Do you have any advice for the staff that remains, and just thoughts on how you would want us to move forward?
Keep a goal in mind. You know, keep a long-term goal in mind. Keep, you know, just understand that I hope that me being a manager over you for the time that I was allowed you to at least see what you're capable of, and understand that when you set goals and when you set things, you can work towards that goal. You know, one of my favorite things that I think I did was our goal sheets. And I know that that's not how everyone does it, but like ever since like high school, I've been writing my goals out. And so one of the things that I always think is really important was we set 4 goals. 2 of them were Medfield TV goals, and then 2 of them were for yourself. And I think it's so important for you to set your own goals as you know, in people, you know, is I didn't care what the other 2 goals were. I just wanted to make sure that they were goals that were going to improve you. So we had a long-term goal and a self-improvement goal, and it was just something to guide you. I think that that's something that you should continue to do, is make sure that you have a goal in mind, because oftentimes if you don't, you just start wandering, and it feels like I don't know why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. But if you have like some long-term goal, you can at least look at, okay, I'm going in that direction. That's where I want to be. So I think just keep your goals in mind and keep working towards them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have any fun memories you want to share? Any favorite moments? I have a few.
Oh God. Some of the things that make me really proud, 2020 as a whole was really just an awesome experience. What's weird is I think if you hear me talk about the things that make me really proud, I talk about some of the really horrible, or I won't say it horrible, but the bad things that happen. And I think I've said this to you, all of you before, is being good at something isn't about when things are going right. It's when things go wrong. That's how you know how good you are at something. So for me, I mean, I think it was 2018 or 2019, like the studio flooded with raw sewage. Like the way that I handled that situation, I think is something that I look back at and I'm like, I was really proud of that. This studio was literally covered in raw sewage. I can't emphasize that enough.
So glad I missed out on
Yeah,
that.
luckily me and Amanda missed that part.
11:30 at night, I am standing here in the studio spreading sand to prevent raw sewage from going from Janine's office through the wall, across this floor, and into the control room. Like, we found out there was a backup, the drainage guys came in, and he looks me in the eyes, and I will never forget what he says to me. He looks at me, he goes, "It's gonna get worse before it gets better." And I'm like, that's not good news. And he took a 500-gallon truck and jams it down the tube and just starts blasting water through. And so 500 gallons of water gets blasted. And of course, if it's not going out, like if he doesn't clear it, it comes back up. So 500 gallons of water that is now covered in raw sewage gets poured into here. By the way, he had to go refill and come back and then do it again. So 1,000 gallons of raw sewage got pumped into Medfield TV. And from there, that wasn't just it. Now you have to deal with remediating the entire building. So now I have to get, different crews in here, all that stuff. They're ripping the walls apart. We literally, from like waist down, all the walls got ripped out. All the rugs get ripped up. Then now we have to operate. We can't stop. So we are continuing to operate with the staff that is jammed in. We had 7 people jammed in the conference room, everything else in the conference room. So all of the cameras, all of the computers, everything, we were literally stuffed into the conference room. And we worked like that for 6 weeks.
That's insane.
And we lost no production time. We actually increased productions at that moment. So it was like, that's when I look back at that, I'm like, that's crazy that happened to me, and like that was something that we went through. Like every time town meeting or something went off and like the live stream for whatever stupid reason went down, it's like being able to, in that moment, just snap to and figure something out. Those little moments are really cool. So I think overall, if there's something that I'm really proud of, it's the bad moments that happened and my ability to lead people through it and get to a better place. I think that was, look at 2020. We did more in a pandemic when the entire world is shut down. Medfield TV, this tiny little access station in a tiny little town, did more than places across the entire country, and that for me is like crazy. We put on events that brought people together in a time when literally everyone was shut out and locked in their own home, and we brought the community out again. That's something I'll always remember, is that Halloween event, as crazy as that was, but the Winter Lights event, we got the community together, and to see something beautiful like that. But those things were pretty amazing. And then I would say, so those are like kind of self-accomplishments, but as a manager, sorry, I'm rambling, but as a manager, my number one accomplishment, I will always and forever say, was the holiday stroll. And I think as a manager, you can't be more proud of a day when you did nothing. Like I can't explain this enough. I was at Winter Lights. I was up at the Medfield State Hospital, and you want to talk about how I gave you guys freedom? The trust that I had was that I could go for an entire month and just not see them and understand that Medfield TV was not only still operating and producing content, but was also producing one of the greatest videos that we've ever produced. Like the Holiday Stroll Lives video was amazing. And then to be able to put you in a position where you're up running the live stream from Baxter Park, you're in the studio screaming at Amanda.
Hey, I wasn't one. Yeah, I guess I was.
But
I was on the verge of tears, to be quite honest.
Just screaming in general. She wasn't yelling at me.
not yelling at Amanda, but yelling with Amanda.
Yeah.
It was crazy when Mike calls me. So Mike Geegan, who you might not know Mike, but Mike does a lot of our productions with us, a lot of the live streams. He is always ready to come in and help us out. So he's one of our video people that come in. And Mike is up in Noon Hill. He's in the room there, and he's calling me. I'm on air. I am on air talking to Gene. We take a break, and I take a phone call from Mike, and I fix the live stream from sitting in the studio. I fix the live stream with Mike, get him to troubleshoot it, figure it out, talk him through it. And then literally like we're coming back from break and I'm like, hang on one second, Mike. And I turn back and what was cool is like, you don't see it break. And there's a moment where Gene is literally just like, how is this happening? And so that was like a problem. It was like Medfield TV, everything that Medfield TV could possibly accomplish. Creating those beautiful videos that the two of you edited, creating the music that, Maddie was a part of, having Mike running a live stream that's feeding back into here so that we can go live from Baxter Park, having a live studio shoot, doing an interview during a pandemic. Gene and I are across the studio from each other, doing a split screen in order to accomplish that. Like everything that Medfield TV could possibly do, we jammed into one event, and I had nothing to do with it. So it was just awesome. Like to your point of like allowing the two of you to do what you do best, that day was proof positive that the decisions I made were the right ones. Like to be able to sit back and watch that. I've never been more proud of the staff than that day sitting during the live stream and enjoying the show as we're filming it. That was a really awesome moment. So I'll never forget that one. That was cool. So what are some of the things with me? I mean, I feel like I balance between being a good boss and being a total idiot sometimes.
That's my favorite part about it. I think some of my favorite moments are just the in-between moments when you're like walking by my desk and we just like roast each other. And it's not a typical like boss-employee relationship, which is something I value a lot. Like there's a foundation of respect there, but we can also joke around so much with each other. So it's just such a nice work environment, and like it's always been fun. So.
It takes trust to do that. I think the foundation of respect has to come first. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the lessons I learned from teaching was, as a substitute, they tell you be hard first and then loosen up later. Because if you loosen up first, the kids are going to lose control and you're never going to be able to reel it back. But if you can be hard first, build respect, and then move from there, that's the proper way to do it. So I think as long as you set the tone right away and understand that, like, as long as you're doing what you're told, and I think that we kind of made that clear from interview process. I'm like, as long as you're doing what you're told and getting your job done, you can do a lot here. So, yeah, including making fun of your boss.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I definitely do probably cross the line, but it's all fun. Like if someone new comes in, I'm not gonna cross the line with them right away.
Right.
Like I'm gonna.
You'll wait a month.
Yeah, I'll wait a month or something.
Yeah.
Then I'll start nudging them.
Like why?
What is the job if you can't make fun of your boss?
Exactly.
Amanda's gonna be like, reel it in.
Reel
it in, please.
Oh, I'm the new favorite. Keep going.
What are some of the moments you guys remember? Not even like with me, just like what are some of your proudest moments here?
I mean, definitely the holiday stroll.
I know it's really hard not to keep mentioning the holiday stroll
it
a
was
lot.
just such a big thing for all of us. Like it was a step up for all of us. Well, not you, but it was a step up for everyone on the staff except for Brett.
Yeah.
Although Brett did like do a lot of the live stream stuff, I will admit. Like he figured out how to set up the live stream from Baxter Park, and that was his contribution to like. And he hosted the whole thing. Like he managed to host it without knowing what was really going on.
Thanks.
But it was a step up for me because I got to direct it and I got to plan all the content and really like make the show go the whole time. And then Amanda did like she had a huge step up in her editing skills, and I mean I mentioned it in that one of What the Adults, but I really I roasted all of her videos, like 4 rounds of edits for each individual video, and I felt so bad, but I was like, there's not much going on right now, like let's just like really focus in on this. So we did that, and then obviously the live stream was a huge step too.
Yeah.
And for Maddie too, like Maddie got to edit in a different style than she's used to, so go us.
Yeah, I gained a lot from that experience, and I felt like it really helped move me forward in this job. So I really do appreciate having that opportunity, not just for my own self-improvement, but for being a part of something bigger than Medfield TV to help bring the community together in such a horrible time.
That's awesome.
It was really like a community event, and we got a bunch of thank yous after that, and like it was nice to hear from everyone, like how impressed they were with our videos and just the whole thing in general.
Yeah.
So that's definitely like my biggest thing.
And-
Sorry.
Oh, no,
If you're
I was
talking about
just-
this, it's still like. Go
No,
for it.
I was just gonna move on to Halloween real quick because it's like
Yeah,
the same
same
like
Same
half
vibe.
of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
I was
vibe.
just gonna say like just I remember walking into the office because I was previously sick that day, and then everything was just all Halloween-ified.
The thing with me and Brett is like we'll come up with an idea and then we're like go 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 go, and it's like the next hour like everything's all set and like
Yeah.
I was
already
out
going.
for one day, and at the time because of like COVID pandemic like precautions and stuff, I was in the conference room, and so I had to go. I did move my computer out of there, but I walked in. And
You're like,
there's
great.
these
Computer's
gone. It's just like I guess I enjoy that spontaneous atmosphere.
Yeah.
That I can walk into the office and sometimes it's
There's
just something
tombstones
crazy.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh
I
man,
will
yeah.
say, yeah, Medfield TV is like we are spontaneous. Like every day is so different.
The absolute thing that I loved about Medfield TV is just every day I walked through the door was something totally different. I mean, talking to like other people who work 9 to 5s, and they're like, "I love my job," and I'm like, "You answer emails all day? Like that sounds horrible." People who email me know that I don't answer emails,
So they
I
email me. And then I nudge Brett to call him back.
So, I mean, just to be able to come in and think of something. Again, the other thing too is like I treat you guys, the board of directors was that with me. I mean, I looked at them and was like, hey, we want to do a haunted studio. This was back in 2019. It was like, we want to do a haunted studio. And they're like, whoa, what's your idea? I'm like, literally shut the studio down for 2 weeks and just decorate it from wall to wall so that one day we could have a couple people walk through it. And it was like, people don't understand like what a board does. They have a responsibility to make sure that the business is running appropriately. And they were just like, sounds good, Brett. Like, sounds like you have an idea here. And so that first year, like you look at 2019, that first year allowing me to do that here was the whole reason that 2020 happened. Like being able to do that in 2019 is why I had the confidence to go into 2020 and be like, we got to do more because we have an ability to create and do things that other people don't. And so I think that was a lot of fun. You were here for the first, because you were
I ran it.
Country. You were Soul Country.
I'll conceptualize the whole
Yeah.
thing.
I'm like, I do really poorly with timelines. But so Audrey
That was like our first big event too.
yeah.
And like access
Well, the Mario
stations
Kart
don't
tournament was.
true. Access stations don't really like do public events. So like you're welcome.
Yeah.
Like hello? Like you're welcome.
Yeah, but
We
that's
found
the
some cool stuff for the
yeah.
town.
I think that was for me. I am super passionate about access stations because working in them, I was like, oh my god, we really are the coolest thing that a town has. It's just that the people in the access station have to believe that and have to want to do cool stuff for you. So where Medfield is really lucky is that I was here. Where Medfield's really lucky is that we had an ability to grow from Medfield TV. It was like, I started saying it was Medfield TV is the coolest thing in Medfield. And I just wanted to prove it. I wanted to prove it time and time again. And I realized that like, we could do events that just no one else is capable of doing. Like, I don't care what Halloween event you did. I don't care what birthday party you threw. It doesn't matter to me. I was like, we're literally a TV studio with the ability to live stream and do all this stuff. Like, we're gonna do it bigger and better than you. And I just kept wanting to prove that we could just keep going and keep going bigger. And I think the pinnacle for me obviously was Winter Lights, of just being like, yeah, we could do anything, like literally anything. And I hope that other access stations heard that message. And I hope that my biggest regret will be that other access stations, I didn't get to spread my message yet to other stations because I think that it's really important. Access stations are really important. And I actually really believe that. And so for me, I just think that they need to hear that message too. Because I think a lot of times you sit in an access station and you're like, 4 people watched my channel today. Like, that's a bummer. Why do I have to try hard? And it's like, because you have to try hard first to make people care. And then you can go forward. Like the first St. Baldrick's event, I think we had 4 people in here. Like it was not a huge success in Medfield. The next time we did it, we raised, I think it was $3,000. And then the next time we did it, we raised $11,000 and did a live stream and we, did a whole thing. So for me, it was like, you can't be afraid to make a mistake. You gotta know that it's just the start. You gotta learn from it. You gotta move on from it. And
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. The important thing is that you make your mark.
Exactly, exactly.
My fake judo club. That was what I was gonna mention before
Yeah.
we split off. My PH Judo Club is something I'm so proud of in my time here, and Brett let me do that. Before a year went by, Brett was like, hey, I think we should split this up, because he was doing it daily, and then we were like, okay, let's do it weekly. And Brett was like, we should probably put this on its own channel. And then I was like, yes, and we should run social media for him. So I just went off with that, and Brett was like, yeah, do it. And that's been my project recently, just running social media, which is not at all my job. And Brett was like, yeah, I believe in you, go do that.
It's one of those things where if you're doing your job really well and I'm letting you do it, Medfield TV is benefiting. And so we now have a program that is syndicated across the country. And I think it was syndicated last year 1,300 times. That's 1,300 times every episode. Every single episode of My PH Judo Club gets syndicated 32 times automatically. There are 32 other stations across the country that have decided that show is so good that when we post it on online, they're automatically downloading it. That's the work that Mike Page has done, because he's an incredible host and he's an awesome person, and I love the work that guy does. To have him actually work hard and put in effort, I think justified us putting in effort and us doing all the things that we did. So that was awesome. And letting you kind of learn how to do the social media stuff, that's also Medfield TV's social media page got better suddenly. It was I gave you an avenue to really express yourself and grow and learn. And that, the Doodle Club for me was always something that was that's great that the Doodle Club's benefiting, but Audrey's getting better at running social media pages, and now Medfield TV's social media pages is also getting better. So it was always a means to an end to allow you guys to do your thing, because Medfield TV benefits. So
follow Medfield TV on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Medfield TV. Follow My PH Doodle Club is doing well on social media. I'm so surprised. We started all that stuff in March, and it's July? So he's over 120 followers on Instagram. His reels are consistently getting 2,000 views on there. On TikTok, he just hit 200 followers.
Nice.
So yeah, follow My PH Judo Club at My PH Judo Club on TikTok, Instagram. He's also got his own Facebook page. It's a group, the My PH Judo Club. Follow his YouTube channel. Subscribe there. Thank you.
she learned that in the last month. Amanda, what's a skill that you've learned in the last year or so being here? What's a skill that you've picked up on?
I mean, it's really hard not to say that because I really expanded upon what I learned from college. This is the first job I had in this field. I learned more about editing. I learned more about just going out and doing interviews and stuff with people, updates and artists in Medfield. Something I've never done before had to do was B-roll, so establishing B-roll and stuff. So that was new stuff, and then obviously integrating more art into video. So yeah, and I did expand a lot more in my graphic design skills. But then there's stuff going to town hall and running the TriCaster there and learning all of that. That's something that I've never been so technical with the things. So it's really hard not to say to pick one big skill, because I feel this job constantly helps you improve in things, and you learn things every day, and you go back and you're like, there was an easier way to do that? I've been doing it this way, you know? So I know I learned a lot. I never did Adobe After Effects before coming here. So.
That was mind blowing to me because I was like, I'm pretty sure that was on your resume. No.
It wasn't, I swear. I'm not a liar. I have a guilty conscience. The first thing I did in Adobe After Effects was when you said, you can do warp stabilizer.
Yeah.
And then when I went to make, for the new year, 2021, to make new show intros, like for the My Page Doodle Club, Community Connections. So I learned like a lot just by making these small intros. My Page Doodle Club made me learn more about how the animation tools work in there. And I'm like, oh, okay, so a lot of this is basically keyframing, which I know how to do in Premiere Pro. So it's just like understanding the layout more, and then obviously like I'm not an expert. I wouldn't be able to like know how to do certain tools when I open it up. So like I'll watch a tutorial and be able to apply that, which is something, you know, I learned from high school doing Adobe programs for a vocational school. It's just like practice by doing tutorials. So like it's stuff that you can definitely pick up on by just like looking at resources online. So that's a big thing about like anything. It's just like look up online,
Google it,
you know, and like you can do it.
It was awesome. You doing the live stream yesterday was your first time doing it all by yourself,
Yes.
which again, like proud manager moment.
You took the key, by the way.
It's mine.
Yeah,
She gave it to me.
But I was locked
Christine
out.
gave me a key to town hall. I have access to town hall.
I was locked out.
I was given the key for 5 whole minutes. I had to give it to Audrey immediately. Christine looked at me and was like, give this to Audrey, please. We don't want you to have it anymore.
I won't abuse it, I promise.
I got the key to the city. But yeah, so that was really cool. Watching you do that for the first time ever by yourself was, you know, it's oftentimes like you just gotta push you out the door. Try it. So that was cool. I was really proud of you for that. But the Houston Bernard show. So let's talk about that. Houston Bernard show 1, great show. Like actually a good show. And if you go back and watch the 2 episodes we were able to do, I think that like the show was gonna be awesome. And I think that my idea was to have a nationally branded show that could go like the Doodle Club, syndicated all over the place. Pretty sure both those episodes got syndicated like 20 times each. So they were awesome. So I was mad that it ended up not working out, which I won't explain why it didn't work out. Houston's a great guy, he's awesome. And so one of the things that people should understand is like I took a risk doing a show that was, I think, not really a show that we could be doing, should be doing. And I think a lot of questions are like, why are you doing this random cowboy from a random place? But that show led to me learning how to do hybrid meetings. So it's like if I didn't have that outlet to learn it and develop that and be able to put a live stream where someone was talking to Houston from the show and the cameras were feeding that live stream so that the person was talking to the program, and it was cool. Like to be able to do that was awesome. And now we literally implemented that. I did a Houston Bernard show and then went to Christine and was like, we can do hybrid meetings. And then we started doing hybrid meetings for the selectmen. It was an awesome transition. Without that show and me trying something totally different and random, we wouldn't be able to be doing hybrid meetings, or at least we wouldn't have done it as quickly as we did. So that was really cool. And the hybrid meetings, every time I sit in a hybrid meeting and it's working, I'm like, this is the coolest thing. I think it's that technology and being able to figure that out was so cool. And Access Stations figured that out. Like that's something that should be credited to Access Stations, is when everyone else was like, I don't know how we're gonna do this. Access Stations stepped up and figured out how to do hybrid meetings, and they kept towns running. That is such an important message to be heard. Like from the rooftops, people should go back and credit all of their Access Stations for being able to allow towns to continue to operate. that was really cool in a year that was really, pandemic, and Access Station stepped up. A lot of them did, some of them didn't, but a lot of them did and did the right thing, and that was pretty cool to see. So, yeah. But yeah, the Houston Bernard show. I built a bar for the guy.
If anyone wants a bar, we're selling it.
No.
Why don't we just set it up for What the Adults?
Oh yeah, we should do What the Adults at the bar.
Next time.
It's kind of funny.
Next time without me.
Any like funny moments you want to share? I have a good one.
I think you could probably do a really bad compilation of
Funny moments.
stupid moments. Not that I want you to.
The one that stands out to me is when Brett bit into a raw plantain just to try and prove me wrong.
Audrey, I was gonna say like we should bring that up because like I remember that and then that was hilarious.
By the way, a plantain is not a potato, but it does in fact taste like
Yes.
a potato.
So like Brett walks in one day and he's like, what's a plantain? And I was like, it's kind of like a potato. It's on Instagram, it's an IGTV, and Brett tries to like prove that it's like a banana, and he bites into it, and he's like, it's like a potato.
You later did a video of you cooking it though, right?
Yeah, the next day I
Probably.
went and cooked very poorly, but I cooked the plantains, and they were delicious.
I love plantains.
I've never had
Very
it,
good.
but I know not to eat it raw. Now.
Yeah,
Yes.
they don't.
I probably
Lesson
wouldn't have to
Cook
begin
your
with.
plantains.
I think like some of our the moments that people don't see are also very funny. Like the one that you ended up making live as a video was me goofing off because I knew Amanda was gonna watch it. It was coming out of the
yes.
the prompter,
Yes.
which was ended up being like our most watched
Real.
video or reel.
It was like how our employees act after finishing a shoot. Or
Yeah.
something. So like you never see like the before and after we like start the actual show. Like, but if it's recording, like we have it.
Yeah.
So
what you see
sometimes
is what
I
you
will.
get on camera. This is me off camera. I'm very much confidence.
Yeah, I'm not. You see me on updates and I'm like, welcome to updates, we went to Medfield updates, and then off
Yeah.
camera I'm like,
Honestly, right before you start updates and so it's just like,
yeah, I'm so nervous because I'm like,
okay,
let's go.
Okay, and you just tug on your hair, you're like,
Mm. I know, I'm like soothing myself when I fix my hair.
and then you just go. Right
It's
into
very
it.
stressful for me. Like
No,
a lot of people have different reactions to being on camera, obviously.
There's a reason why I'm not on camera very often.
But like at an access station, sometimes you just have to step up. Like shows won't be made if you don't be in them yourself. Like updates, like who would have hosted that? Brett? Like Brett was already on enough shows. Like
Yeah.
You do
enough of Brett.
You do a really good job hosting it, and you have a really good like public speaking voice.
Thank
so
you.
like you seem.
Amanda's calling me fake right now, I think.
No, I'm
You're so
saying-
fake on camera. You did such a good job.
When you're on camera and pretending for people, you're awesome.
Take a compliment.
I can't. Thank you. Do you want to like talk about past employees you've worked with?
My past employees have been awesome. Like I said, first and foremost, I got the pleasure of working with Aditi for a couple weeks. I came in and working with her was just amazing. Like actually seeing a lot of the community building that I learned was from that very short time with Aditi. She's just so fabulous. She looked for potential in everybody. I put my head against the window and she came out. It was like 10:30 at night. She was leaving the board meeting, which should have been a red flag for me of being like, you're gonna be here till 10:30 at night talking to the board. But she saw potential in that person and we built a relationship over emails over like a year. And she actually texted me yesterday. It was like, hey, like tell me what's going on. I tried to call her and update her what was going on. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, I wanted to call her and talk to her about it because a big thing that she said is like, this is my baby and I'm giving it to you. Like, can you just update me on when you hit milestones? And so I called her the other day. We played telephone tag. So now, unfortunately, I have to tell her that I'm leaving. But it's exciting. I mean, to have her see that potential in me. I was actually in a really bad spot. People don't actually, you know what, let me get it. I want to get something.
Ooh.
Hang on.
A prop.
Okay, so this is a business card. I was working at North TV and I was looking for a new job. I needed to move on from North TV and for however many reasons. So I used to have a landscaping company with my brother and this company is relatively associated with landscaping, so I was kind of like, oh, it'd be cool like if I went to this thing. I was kind of down in the dumps. I was like, I financially wasn't set, and if you've ever gone through financial troubles, looking for more money, doing all that stuff, it's a stress on everything you do in your life. And so I was really stressed out, and I was really having a hard time. And I, at the time was, single and was beating myself up. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, things were going south. And so I applied to a job, and I got the interview. And I was so excited to go to the interview, and I found out that it was like telemarketing. And it was like cold calling people left and right. And I left that interview, and it was like the darkest I've ever been, where I was literally like, I'm stuck, and I'm never gonna get out of this hole, and I'm never going to do any of the things that I want to accomplish because I'm just stuck. And I got back to my office, and I sat down, and I shot Aditi an email. And I just said to her, like, hey, what's going on at Medfield TV? It seemed like this place was just doing some really great stuff, and I just wanted to be a part of it. And so she emailed me back, was like, let's have lunch, next week. And I sat down at Blue Moon, and she offered me the job. What's hilarious is Blue Moon's very loud, and I didn't hear a single word Aditi said to me during that interview. It was 45 minutes of me just being like, yeah, of course, definitely. I have no idea what she said to me.
Oh my gosh.
But obviously I said enough, and she was so happy to kind of usher me in here. And so I hold this as a reminder that no matter how bad things are at Medfield TV, I've come out of my darkest days. So I hold on to that. And I look at it all the time. I look at it, every day. Whenever something goes wrong or something happens, I say, at least I'm not here, and I made the right decisions, and I'm going in the right place. So, that was a little business card. But that's how I got here. And so Aditi is really, she's credited with a lot. Her and David Maxon saw a lot of potential in me, and David has done a lot of really great things for Medfield TV, and I owe him a lot too. From there, the other board members have been fantastic. This new board is, the reason why I have so much confidence leaving and walking out is that realistically, this board is so good. And what people don't know is how much they enabled me to accomplish the things and how open-minded they are in doing the things that they want to do. I think that this board is going to do great things. The person that they put in this position is going to be allowed to do the things that they want to do. And that is so important for the progress of Medfield TV. So I'm really confident in the board, the people that are on it. Mike Pastore is just, if you're watching this, you know who Mike Pastore is, right? He's just an awesome guy. I'm really excited about him. Bill Gallagher is just a great dude who I've grown really fond of. And Nick Connor was someone who I was very excited about when he came on. Rika Athanasiadis is just, she's a delight. She calls me all the time. I got to work with her son, Steven. I don't know, I can't say enough about this board. They really are just terrific people, and I'm really excited about them. Past employees, like you asked me to actually answer, and instead I got a business card for you. Past employees, I'll start with Eric Giselle, who I know he's off doing some pretty good stuff. He's an awesome guy. That was a lot of the stuff that is tough about being a manager is like really enjoying people and watching them go. Eric was awesome, and I apologize to a lot of people because he's our sports coordinator, and I did a horrible job trying to fill his shoes. Medfield TV will absolutely hire someone to do a better job than I did, so I am so sorry to all the sports parents out there, but Eric was awesome. Hong, oh my God, I loved Hong. And I love Hong. She's an amazing person. She retired, and she's just, she's terrific. Sam Merlin is still kicking around doing the dang thing. He's doing a lot of videography work. He's out there, I think he's local now. He left us because he went to Oregon, and then he came back. Sam was just awesome. Rachel Ferrulo was one of my first employees as I was here. She did a great job. Someone that honestly was put in a position that she was not a video editor, right? And like she was hired because they needed somebody, and she stepped up and she did some stuff that honestly stretched her. And I have to give her credit where I don't think that she was prepared for the position that she was put in, but she stepped up and did what she could do, and that deserves a lot of credit. And then, you know, obviously I talked about Olivia. Olivia is she is my first hire here at Medfield TV, and I couldn't be more proud of her. When she brought me in the Babson Cup, you know, when she got into college, she brought me a cup. And that was like, it's a cool moment to see that stuff. Again, I really love my staff. I really, really love my staff, and following who I have and what you do, I care about them so much. And I think people misconstrue what a manager can do when they care about their staff. A lot of times you think, oh, you're just gonna give them more money and you gotta do, but it's not about that. You gotta think about their futures, and are you doing the right thing for their future? And sometimes that is to let them go or let them leave your station and you know, pursue their goals and pursue their dreams. You know, Olivia doesn't want to do television. She wants to do things in business, but I knew that having her here gave her an experience that put her into a role that she, again, like was learning from, developing in. It was pretty cool. I have an article from her that she was invited to like the Red Sox to talk about like the Boston businesses, and she was selected amongst like 120 students in all of Massachusetts. Like, I had nothing to do with that, but I'm proud of her for having accomplished that. Like, she's an awesome person. I saw her at Home Depot. She was working at Home Depot the other day, and we had our masks on, and she was just like, she's like, oh my God, like I know you. And so it was, she's awesome. I love Olivia too. But yeah, I've had the privilege of working with some awesome employees. Tom, how can I forget Tom? Tom is just, that guy is just a lightning bolt. He is crazy. He's, I loved working with him when he came in here. Tom is another example of like serendipity. I was literally gonna hire someone else, and then Tom walked through the door on my very last day. Tom didn't even like really apply. He like walked in with his resume, and he just was awesome. I mean, if you ever talk to Tom, it was just like, talking to him is like drinking from a fire hose. It's just, he's just an awesome personality, and I loved working with him. He's now doing his own thing, you know, similar to Sam. He's doing his own thing, and he's doing a great job doing it. And I wish him all the best success in the world too. Can't wait to see him again. I'm probably gonna see him soon. But yeah, those are all my past employees. Done.
Kind of a long list for only 4 years.
4.5 years.
Wow.
That was one of the things that, you know, I wasn't afraid of, was turnover. You want to give people an experience. You want to build a system that an individual leaving won't shut your system down, right? Same thing with me leaving, right? Like, people are like, what are we gonna do? The system is built, it's in place that if I leave, someone else will be able to run it with their vision. This place is not going anywhere. It is built, it has its foundation. But, you know, having turnover is giving people hands-on experience, letting them learn, letting them find the thing that excites them, like giving them a plethora of options and letting them experience each one, and then you take off in that direction and you let them go. So yeah, turnover happens. It's okay. Do you want me to talk about my current employees?
Oh, sure. Are we gonna cry?
Nope, because I don't like any of you. I'll start with someone that no one knows, and that's Janine. If you enjoyed any of the things that I did, any of the creative projects that I put on, any of that stuff, it's because of Janine. And she might not realize this, but she does the important work here at Medfield TV, which is all the financial stuff. She's the one that works with our CPA. She keeps everything in line. She does our QuickBooks. She does all of that. So allowing me to be the face of the organization and allowing me to join different groups, you know, and being a part of the community, all of that work is because Janine does the hard work, and she has created a system that allows her to do that. So I've just been super excited to be able to do all the community stuff and all the community work that I've done, because Janine does her job. So Janine's a vital part of Medfield TV. The two, the youth girls, right? Maddie and Linnea. Again, examples like Olivia being put in a position where they realistically had no idea what they were doing. And just knowing who they were, knowing, Linnea first, and then she brought in Maddie. Linnea is awesome. She's cool. That's the thing that I was like, oh, you're actually cool. I'd never worked with someone cool before.
Rude.
No, Linnea is just awesome. She's so much fun to be around, and she is willing to try different things. And one of the things that's really tough to find in a young kid is someone who's willing to put themselves out there and not afraid to be embarrassed, right? And not afraid to say something that might embarrass them. I think that that's really hard to find in someone young. And so Linnea is always willing to do that. And then Maddie is just, I haven't been as impressed with a young person as much as I have been with Maddie. She has a characteristic of wanting to learn and wanting to develop and wanting to grow more than I've seen any other young person her age. I've never seen that characteristic as strong as it is in Maddie. When I talked about her self-goal, I'm sorry for putting this out there, but her self-goal was something where she was like, I'm not very good at public speaking. I want my goal to be to be better at public speaking. As an adult, public speaking is your biggest fear. She took that on head on, knowing that that was something she wasn't good at. So that was something with Maddie, I just blown away by her. So both of them are going to do amazing, great things. And so that's something I'm really excited about too. And then that brings me to
Who? Who?
you two. I'll preface it by this. All of the things I've done, 4.5 years, I look back at all the things that I've accomplished, and my proudest thing is the two of you.
Yikes, I'm gonna cry.
I'm not gonna be able to say it.
Oh, no.
Sorry. My proudest thing has been working with the two of you. Being able to see the two of you grow and develop has been something I honestly cherish. I've been blown away by the two of you. So, thank you. Amanda, you're one of the most talented people I've ever worked with.
That means a lot.
I really mean that. Your illustrations, your work in that has been absolutely unbelievable. And I'm blown away every time you hand me something. Shocked. So I don't know what your goals are, but someday I'm gonna be watching Nickelodeon and see your name in the credits. So I'm gonna be watching something. It's just, you're that talented, you're on that level of and that's the thing that for me is the biggest point of pride is that idea of letting someone go. It's when I let Amanda go, when she goes, it's gonna be to something amazing. When that Kurt Jackson video comes out, I can't wait to see your trajectory after that. It's just gonna be unbelievable. And so that's something that one of my biggest point of prides will be knowing you. So it's gonna be awesome.
That's one of the kindest things anyone's ever said about my work, and it just means a lot. And it really helps know that I'm going in the right place, and I feel motivated to continue to go on that path because I know that someone else supports me in that. So thank you.
Good. And then Audrey. I'm really positive this time. She made fun of me for 4.5 years.
Well, only 2 years. I've only been here 2 years, but it felt like 4.5.
It felt like 4.5, but Audrey's getting fun of me for 2. I honestly can't say enough about Audrey. You have been, I of everything I've ever done, hiring you is the best. Putting you as chief editor has changed this place. If people think that Medfield TV looks good, if the productions are better, if the staff is more talented, if you paid attention to the social media page in the past 2 years, like everything that is making Medfield TV that looks great is because of your work and your effort. And I got to benefit off of the stuff that you did. I went and looked for, I just, you know, I can't say enough about you. I could do a whole another episode on just the things that I enjoy about you. You've been awesome to work with. You have been an awesome friend. So thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like we're wrapping up. So if you don't mind, would like to say goodbye to Medfield. Medfield, let's say goodbye to you. First of all, I want to say that Medfield TV is in phenomenal hands. And I can tell you that if you're in a relationship with Medfield TV, through me, I reached out and we have been working together, that Medfield TV will continue that work. That is one of the things that I know is going to happen. And I think people have been worried because they enjoyed the things that I've been doing and the things that I've implemented. And those things, they may change. Those some of them, some of the specific things may change, but the adamant behavior of being involved in the community is something that I think Medfield TV has seen the benefits of and wants to grow and benefit from it. So Medfield TV is not going anywhere. We're gonna keep growing and keep developing. And that's something that I'm really excited about, especially watching from the distance and seeing how far you guys go from here. So I'm really excited about it. Medfield Outreach and MCAP, the Medfield Coalition for Suicide Prevention, I always, in my head, put all of you together in one lump because you're all just amazing people that do incredible, incredible work in town. And I have been so blessed working with the Medfield Outreach office. Mary, Kathy, and Chelsea have just been three awesome individuals. If you don't know who they are, they do amazing work behind the scenes with people in Medfield. And I have been seriously blessed and honored working with the three of them. And being a part of those coalitions. I always tell people, I just had my last Coalition for Suicide Prevention meeting yesterday. And I tell people all the time, you know, they're like, what do you do at Medfield TV? Like, what is your job? And one of the things I always make sure I mention is my involvement in that group, because it's a strong group, it's a powerful group, and it's one that's doing amazing work. And it's one of the things that have brought me the most pride of the work that I've done here is that work with the suicide prevention group. So please keep doing what you're doing and keep up with that. Jean Miniao, the work that I think Jean Miniao and I have done has been absolutely incredible. Just everything that the two of us, I have just been so lucky to be one of the people to work with Jean. She is an incredible, incredible individual. And I think that she's capable of absolutely anything. And I have been proven that time and time again by just seeing her say something and then 2 years later it happens. She just manifests all of the things that she says out loud. She is just an incredible individual. I can't wait to see the chapel be developed, and I will definitely be coming to shows at the chapel once Jean is finished with it. She's just an incredible individual. It's really just a powerful, awesome organization CAM is that Jean heads, so I know that that is going to be fabulous to watch. The town, the actual organization of the town, the government, this is a special town, and the government that runs it is a special group of people. Christine Scherwaller is one of the best examples of a leader I have ever seen in my entire life. And if I have learned anything from her, it's that you can treat people with respect, and you can learn their personal lives, and you can be personable with them, and you can be professional with them. And she's an incredible example of what leaders can be and who leaders are. I just think that Christine, seeing her work and seeing what Medfield is because of her work, has been absolutely incredible. I'm lucky to have worked alongside her for 4.5 years. So she's just an amazing person. And I want to give a shout out to Evelyn Clark too. Evelyn, absolutely love working with you. You are one of my favorite people when I walk through the door to greet me ever is Evelyn. If you've ever gone to the town hall and you've gone to go see Christine, you see Evelyn first, and there is no one else in the world I would rather see than Evelyn walking through that door. She's absolutely amazing. I love going to see you. Nick, best of luck. You're kind of new to the game. I know that we've met a few times. I think that we've done a lot of work together at this point, getting these hybrid meetings going and everything. But good hands. You're sitting in the position that Christine was in before. Look at her now. So best of luck to you, Nick, going forward. And I know you have a young family, so good luck to the whole family. I absolutely love that. The rest of town, I mean, Georgia Kalivas, working with her through the Mike Sullivan documentary has been awesome. That was a really great experience. She's always fabulous. And so absolutely love working with Georgia, her whole team. That whole town hall is fabulous, filled with fabulous people. Then you have the rest of town government, like the police chief. Chief Garrett she's awesome. I mean, I've never been with someone who is intimidating and also just lovely to be around at the same time. It is weird to sit there and talk to her and realize that this is the chief of police and also someone that I think cares a lot about me and is asking me about my vacation and asking me about, I feel honored that I had that relationship with Chief Garrett. She is just an awesome person. Medfield's lucky to have her as their chief of police. So working with her on a few things that I did do, I think I caused more trouble for her than I did anything. I am sorry about Halloween, but I promise we fixed it. And so thank you so much for allowing me to do that stuff. Again, this selectman, I don't have to talk about it to Medfield, is just 3 individuals who do so much for this town. They volunteer. They are just incredible individuals. So thank you so much. If I have any advice for Medfield going forward, I will tell you this. You are a collective of individuals who are all chasing the same goal. You are doing the same thing. Each and every one of you is trying so hard to make this town something special. It is something special. It is a unique town, and it is something to be proud of. Stop talking to each other like you're fighting. You're not fighting. You're not arguing. You are working towards the same goal. And it is something that is so important to stop and recognize when you're out there and you're talking at town meeting or you're discussing things at selectmen meeting. It's not an argument, it's a discussion. And you have to start realizing that. You're a bunch of special individuals who are dedicating your time to a small town. You're people that could be sitting in front of your families. You could be watching TV. You could be scrolling TikTok in your underwear on your couch, which is something I love doing. But instead you choose to go in front of the selectmen and you decide that you're going to dedicate your hours and your time to making a town better for the betterment of the residents that are in it. And that is something special. That's something that each and every one of you do all the time. Stop arguing, stop fighting, start realizing that you all have the same goal in mind. You're just disagreeing on how to get there. And I think that that is going to make something so much better and so much special is when all of you realize that. But other than that, I have loved my time here at Medfield TV. I have absolutely loved Medfield. I will see you at Medfield Day. I will see you at the Holiday Stroll. I will see you at Winter Lights. And I will definitely be here for Halloween as well for the studio. But I have loved my time here at Medfield. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you for everything. On behalf of Medfield, I am a Medfield resident. Thank you for everything. My mom the other day was like crying because I told her you were leaving. And she was like, I feel like you guys were like on such a good roll. You've been doing so much for the town. I always see you in the newspapers. And she's loved what we've done here. And it's all thanks to you. Like, you've really led us, as much of it is us, but like it's you also. So you're part of the team, you're part of the staff. You've really led the charge. So thank you.
I know, the town really does appreciate you. And you can tell just going in events that people go, oh, hey, Brett. Even like editing like the rolling rally with you, the camera, so many in the background, hi, Brett, hi. Like, you just hear that. A lot of people are familiar with you because you really connected to the community. And you didn't have to go as far as you did, but you did, and that's great. Like, for everyone, it benefits everyone.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks. So.
If you want to reach out to Brett, here's his cell phone number.
Put it on the screen.
It's right here.
So the next time people see you, will you have a nice spray tan?
Yeah, I'm gonna look gorgeous. Wait till you see my wedding photos. I am gonna be handsome. It's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited about my future. I think that you know, my future's bright. I'm getting married August 7th, and I have a beautiful bride that I absolutely love, that I am inspired by all the time. I love her to death, and I can't wait to marry her. And that's my next thing. That's my next big moment. And so I'm gonna get to start a family, and so I can't wait. And I'm sure a lot of you follow me on Facebook because I'm wide open. You can come find me, but you'll follow along and see that grow. So I'm excited about it.
You have a lot of good things coming for you. So
Thanks.
that's
A lot of
great.
big changes, yeah.
Yeah,
That'll be great.
thank you.
Well, thank you. So sad to see you go, but excited for you and your adventures. Definitely sad to see you leave What the Adults. Say a final farewell for us. Close out the show.
Bye. I don't know. I gave my big speech. I'm out of speeches, out of words. But Medfield, it's been a pleasure, and What the Adults has been an awesome show. I'm so glad we started doing it. This job has been amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We hit 1,000 people. We are a YouTube Premium partner, which is like the coolest thing to say ever. So Medfield TV's on the up and up, and you're watching What the Adults. Thanks for watching.